tell us this. When you were tracking these stats on people, on spouses hiding money, it was shocking to me how many people actually do.
Yeah, at one point it seemed like everybody does it on some level. I had one advisor tell me someone is hiding everything. So everyone's hiding something. So it's really pretty widespread, and it could go from the simplest thing, from hiding a credit card purchase from your spouse, like just buying some makeup and you don't want to tell your spouse about it, to hiding millions of dollars, a whole bank account, a whole separate business that they never even knew about. So it really runs the gamut. It also runs the gamut on income levels too. So there's people who are very wealthy doing this, but there's also people who are just sort of your average middle Americans doing it.
And some of the tricky things I thought were people having separate PayPal accounts to basically, spend money on perhaps their mistress or travel with somebody else. I mean, these are all things, the digital world has made it easier to do this in some ways.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's just a click of a button. You can set up a PayPal account, you can set up a whole brokerage account, and no one will ever know, except there's electronic discovery now that is making it so much easier for forensic accountants and other forensic data experts to track all these things.
So let's back up a little bit and look at those things. I mean, you mentioned you can be tracked. There's software that can track your keystrokes on a keyboard. People can go online with your Facebook. I mean, everything that's burned into a hard drive is there. So even if you hit delete, you're not deleting what happened.
Exactly, and that's what the thing people don't realize. They think, oh, just because I hit delete, it's gone forever, but it's not. It can be found. One of the most shocking cases was this keylogger software, which is, it's pretty well known, but it's just shocking to hear that spouses are using it on each other. And basically that, it's software that can be delivered by an email. So your spouse could send you an email and say, oh, let's talk about this between our lawyers. You click on the email, it opens, and all of a sudden that software is installed on your computer. And the next thing you know, they're tracking you, and they could be tracking you every move. Now, the legality on this is really still being worked out. It's really murky. It's just such a new field of law that the court system really hasn't caught up with what's happening in this area.
Some people using it anyway, though, even if the legality may be questionable, one, they just want to know, they want that information. But two, they might be able to then find a legal way to use that information, I would imagine, because they have that knowledge in their head.
They have and some lawyers are a little unscrupulous, not all of them, but will get this information and then find a roundabout way of introducing the evidence. Just saying, they'll find out somehow that they have a secret, Swiss bank account or offshore bank account, and then they'll just put a request in for the judge of, the other spouses, all of their bank records, and so they have basically a more focus for their hunting and fishing expeditions because they know this account is out there. So it makes it a lot easier for them to track this down. I mean, a lot of the times, sometimes the evidence is not admissible because the legality is so murky, but at the very least, it's forcing the hand of a lot of people to settle their divorce cases sooner than later because some of the spouses don't want this information out in public. Like they don't want the fact that they own a separate business out in public. They don't want to know that they don't want this information known.